Hey y'all, ready to take on the Lone Star State with your family? In today's episode, we're sharing some of our favorite family friendly hotels and resorts we've stayed at in Texas using points. Welcome to the Travel Hacking Mom Show. We are three moms who've discovered how to leverage credit card welcome offers to get hundreds of thousands of dollars in travel expenses for nearly free. We've used credit card points and miles to take vacations to places like Hawaii, Paris, Greece, the Maldives, Italy, and so much more. And the best part? We each still have an 800 plus credit score. Imagine being able to book a vacation without having to check your bank account. It's totally possible, and we're here to show you how. Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Jess. We are travel hacking moms. So you can probably already tell that we are missing one of the moms today. Pam is off jet setting somewhere. We were joking that we can't even keep track of where she is. She's actually on her way to Mexico. So you are stuck with just Alex and I today, but we have a really good episode in store. We are talking all about Texas on points. So, as a native Texan, I love using my points to explore my home state. There is no shortage of points options for hotels. And with major cities like Houston, Dallas, Austin, it's easy to find flight options using miles too, no matter where you're flying from. Today, we are going to cover Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, and Houston. And the hotels that we're going to talk about are hotels that one or both of us have actually stayed at. There are thousands of hotel options with every major brand in Texas, obviously, second largest state in the country. So, no matter what kind of points you have, you're going to be able to find an option. We can't cover them all. So, we are just going to cover ones that we have actually stayed at. So, we're going to kick it off with Austin. We're going to start off with the Hyatt Lost Pines. I've stayed there a few times now. Alex and her family recently stayed there for the first time. My family joined them there. So, Alex, first impressions of the Hyatt Lost Pines.
First impressions. Well, I'm going to say that I went in with high expectations. I don't even know why I had high expectations. I think it was just this idea of doing something different because my family often goes to California or does beach vacations. So going to Texas was a different thing for us. My kids had never been, we'd never had a family vacation there. And so I was looking forward to the whole country thing. I was looking forward to all of that, just when I pictured this resort, I kind of pictured like we were going to a dude ranch. And I wouldn't say it's exactly like a dude ranch, but there's so much to do. And it does feel that like Western country feel to it. So I was very happy with it, and spoiler, loved it.
All right. So it's one of my favorites also. So when you pitched the idea of coming, I was like, yes, you have to come. You have to bring your family. We have to meet up with you. So it is a category 5 Hyatt, which means that standard award nights are going to run you 20,000 points a night. Alex actually used a suite upgrade award for her family. And so all 6 of them were able to fit into a suite, which was very nice because you only needed to use this, you only needed to use points for one room, and then you just upgraded and all of you were able to fit.
Yeah, it was super nice. It had like a pull-out couch, but it was kind of a L-shaped couch. And so my youngest was on the part that didn't fold out. And then my other 2 were on the bed. The little one slept in the master with us. And it's so nice when you can be able to like shut the door and have that space. So that was so nice. Those suite upgrade awards are one of my favorite things about the Hyatt Globalist.
They come in clutch for families because if you didn't have that, you would have had to book 2 rooms.
Or we would have tried to squeeze in one, which would not have been very comfortable.
Well, my family, it was just me, my husband, and our 10-year-old, and we were in a standard room with 2 queen beds. And I think your family of 6 trying to fit in that room would have been a little tight.
Yeah, the rooms were not huge.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fine. They're comfortable, but they're not like squeeze 6 people into a standard 2 queen room comfortable.
Yeah.
So that is the nice thing though. You can book either one king bed or two queens with the 20,000 points a night. So, I mean, the whole resort is super family friendly.
Yeah.
It's one of those places where I personally would not go there without kids.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
if my they do have an adults only pool, but
And they
like if
also have a spa that looked really nice, and they
yeah,
have a golf course right there, but I just feel like there were so many little kids.
yeah.
Like, I
Like
feel
if
like if you have elementary aged kids, it will be perfect for them. We loved how many activities they had. I think that was, like, the top thing that I loved about it was we didn't even, like, scratch the surface on all of the things they have to do. So they have bikes that you can ride around. They have and the property is really big. There's a lot of what you wanna usually spend your time around is close, you don't have to walk far, but they have a lot of grounds, and so if you wanna go ride bikes for a while, if you wanna go horseback riding, I mean, that you have to pay for, but there's a fun pool with the lazy river and a water slide. The kids loved that. There's a playground, there's a lot of grassy areas. There's daily activities for the kids, movie nights on the lawn, s'mores every night, and I was very impressed with the s'mores because I thought it'd be like, "Hey, here's your little s'mores kit, 1 s'more per person." And they have the stick with the marshmallow on there, and your kids just run up and grab as many as they want. So, my kids had no shortage of s'mores while we were there, and they loved that, and that's every night in 2 they have 2 areas where they do that in these giant fire pits.
yeah. And one of the things to note is that it is a little bit removed from
Yeah.
Austin. Like you fly into Austin, but it's about half an hour outside of Austin and it's in a pretty remote area, which is nice because it makes it beautiful, but it's not easy to get to go to Austin or to get to like restaurants and stuff. And so I will say you spend a lot of like anytime I've gone there, we've just stayed at the resort the entire time. We haven't ventured out. I would say if you want to do Austin also, you should kind of plan to hotel hop like Pam and maybe do a few nights at the Lost Pines and then a few nights downtown Austin because it's really not super convenient to go into Austin
Yeah,
from
we only
Lost
went
Pines.
into Austin before our flight home. So
Yeah.
we really just stayed at the resort, which was great. And the nice thing, if you have kids, I think it's 5 and under eat for free. So my 3-year-old, we didn't have to pay for any food for him. So that was nice. And I thought the food was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, the breakfast especially, I thought was really, really good. So, I mean, we were happy with it. But I do think that's something people might wanna take into consideration is if you're not wanting to spend more money on eating out there, there are many fridges in the room, so you could bring some things. You We brought some snacks with us,
Yeah.
so you could make it work so you don't have to eat out every single meal if you didn't wanna do that, if you brought were prepared and brought some stuff.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Yeah.
So
One of What was your favorite thing that we did there? Or what was Molly's favorite thing?
she just likes going to the pool and drinking the pina coladas and, like,
They were
hanging
so
out,
good, like,
you know?
I told Jess, I'm like, "These pina coladas are better." Like, you wouldn't expect that I'm going to the Lost Pines, some family-friendly resort in Texas, that the pina coladas are gonna be really good.
Yeah.
'Cause usually I feel like they're not well made at some places. They were really good, like, some of the best pina coladas I've had.
Yeah, so I think her favorite thing was just, like, playing in the pool with your kids and going in the lazy river and, just hanging out, throwing the ball and all that stuff.
Yeah, that would probably be my kid's favorite thing too. That we did do one paid activity while we were there. We did a tomahawk throwing and archery class. Well, I say class, it was just my 3 kids and 2 instructors, and they loved it, and it was really, really fun because their instructors were like authentic cowboys. So my kids thought that was really awesome. So I think it's worth doing one of those paid activities, but additionally, there's so many free things you can do. There's tennis courts, pickleball courts, basketball courts, horseshoes, tetherball.
Oh, and
There
the animals, Molly
Oh,
really likes
yeah,
the
they have a
little
petting
the
zoo in the morning, so They have crafts. If you want to drop off your kids, you can drop them off and pay for them to go to the kids club and then go to the spa. So I'm with you though. I would only go there with my kids. But I think it's an amazing place with kids.
Yeah, like if my husband and I were going to Austin, we're staying at like the Thompson downtown.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
going to the Lost Pines.
Yeah. Agree with you there. So
So
speaking of staying in Austin, where if you were gonna stay in downtown Austin, where should we stay? Because we didn't. We were just there flying out.
I mean, okay, I would love to stay at the Thompson, but like I said, Thompsons tend to be a little bit more adult oriented, and I have not actually stayed there. We stayed last year at the Hyatt Regency Austin, which we had a great stay. We were in town for the Harry Styles concert. My stepdaughter and I went to the Harry Styles concert, but it was so it was me, my husband, Molly, our 10-year-old, and then Ella, my stepdaughter. So there were four of us in one room. The Regency is a category 4. So standard award nights are 15,000 points a night, which is really nice because that means you can also use your annual free night certificates there, which I think is exactly what we did. We were only there for 2 nights. So not a super long stay, just for the weekend. But we got a room with 2 queen beds. It was more than comfortable. It fit the 4 of us easily, and it's in a really, really great location. And like you can see we could see the water from our room. They have a really cute restaurant that's like right on the water, and we ate there. We ate dinner there one night. And so I definitely think the Regency is a great option closer to downtown if you want to explore. And like I said, category 4, it's a great value for your points at just 15,000 points a night
Yeah,
or a free night certificate.
that's super nice. I love that option, and I wish I'm wishing we would have done that. Like, stay 3 nights at Lost Pines, and then stay at the Hyatt Regency Austin, so we could explore Austin a little bit more. We did go into the city, but we were only in the city for a few hours. Our flight didn't leave Austin until 8 p.m. And thankfully, we were able to stay at the Lost Pines for a while.
Yeah.
But then we went into Austin and we went to this barbecue place called Terry Black's, and it's maybe 15 minutes from the airport. It was so, so good.
It looked so good. Like when I saw your picture, I started like drooling.
Yeah, it was really good. And when you go up and order, you can see there's all the sides and there's different sizes you can choose from, and they just put them on like a
Right.
cafeteria thing for you. Then you go up and you order your meat by the weight. And we just ordered a bunch of stuff and tried a bunch of different things, and it was
Yeah.
so good. And then it was perfect too, because right across the street, there's a really nice park, lots of grassy areas with really cool views of the city. And my kids were able to, get out some energy before we headed to the airport to fly home. So if someone is going to Lost Pines, I highly recommend before you go to the airport, go eat at that barbecue, Terry Black's, and then go to the park. And then it's about 15 minutes from the airport. So it was like the perfect way to cap off our trip.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What
Well,
else do you like to do in Austin? Like when I go back next time, what should we do? What did I miss?
So it's a lot of the things that I like to do in Austin are outdoors. So you actually chose a really, really good time of year to come. Like the weather was really nice while you were here. I always say that like October, November, or March, April, possibly May are really good times to visit. I avoid Austin like the plague. I avoid any of these places like the plague in
You
the
avoid
summer.
Texas. You avoid your
I avoid
backyard.
Texas in the summer. I either leave or I stay inside my air-conditioned house. So, yeah, a lot of the stuff I like to do is outdoors. There's Barton Springs, like natural pool. That's really, really fun and really cool. There's Austin is the capital. We visited the Capitol building. That's air conditioned that you could do. There is bat watching at the Congress Avenue Bridge. So like at dusk, like thousands of bats fly out from under this bridge, and it's really cool to watch.
That is cool. My
There's
kids would love that.
Yeah, it's super and it's free. Like, all these
Yeah.
things, a lot of these things are free, you know? There's a lot of great hiking places. There's Lady Bird Lake. You can, like, go out and canoe kayak or just, like, hike around the lake, and so lots of really cool, fun, outdoorsy options for next time you come back.
Okay, good to know. Well, I'm sure we'll be back. My kids loved it. But then this next time we'll go stay at the Hyatt Regency Austin too.
Yes.
Okay,
Alright,
so what's
so
another city we need to check out? Because so I haven't that's the only place well, actually, no. I've been to Houston before, but that was a quick trip and I didn't see much other than the hotel room because it rained the whole time.
other
But
than Torchy's Tacos.
yes, but
Um,
we'll get to that. So tell us a little bit about San Antonio. That's another one that I would love to go visit. I feel like there seems to be a lot of things to do there. I know there's the Hyatt Hill Country, which is similar to Lost Pines. So tell us a little bit about that. I know a lot of people kind of come there. I know they're similar.
they're super similar, and the nice thing about San Antonio too is, like, it's not far from Austin. You know, if you were gonna fly in, you could easily fly into one you could do both in the same trip.
Oh,
You could
nice.
fly into one and then drive, to the other one and maybe fly out of the other one.
How far away? How long of a drive is that?
I wanna say now you're making me second guess myself. I wanna say it's, like, 2 hours. But I'm
I feel
like,
like
"Oh."
they're all kind of close-ish, right? The main
Yeah,
city
I mean, Dallas
is a little further.
is a little further north. Okay, so San Antonio and Austin are only, like, an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
So,
You know, I don't know Texas geography very
you
well.
would think
Have
I
you
would know this. I've
not
lived
been
in
there? I
Texas
just
for
imagine like, "Oh, Texas is huge." I
yeah.
didn't imagine the cities being as close as they are with how big the state is.
So Austin and San Antonio are the closest of the 2.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, they're the coolest of all 4.
Okay.
So, and Southwest flies to both, so
Yeah,
especially if you have a companion pass, fly into Austin, rent a car, stay in Austin for a little bit, rent a car, drive to San Antonio, and, like, fly out of San Antonio.
yeah. Well, that's
Um,
what was so nice for us is part of the reason why we decided to go to Austin was Southwest has direct flights from Salt Lake City, and there's not a ton of places that Southwest flies direct from Salt Lake. And so when I realized that, even more I was sold. Like, all right, direct flights, companion pass, we're going to Austin, everybody.
um, okay, but yes, so the Hyatt Hill Country is super similar to Hyatt Lost Pines. It used to be up until this year, it was a category 4 though, and so it was an amazing value. You could use your free night certificates there. Now they bumped it up to a category 5 because they know that that's where it should be,
Yeah,
and
and they
so
remodeled it too, right?
they just remodeled it, like, a $50 million renovation.
Oh,
So,
wow. Have you
huge
been there
renovation.
since the
I have
renovation?
not stayed there since it was remodeled. We stayed there last summer, but I haven't been there since they finished the remodel, but we are going back there to watch the eclipse in April. So, I will be able to report back on the renovation then. So like I said, category 5, 20,000 points a night, standard award nights. They used to have the standard rooms were either 1 king or 2 doubles. And that was a huge disadvantage I feel like it had.
As, like, a family resort, I don't know how
Yeah.
that's gonna work for families.
So the good news so that's why we used to always choose like it's kind of sad, but we would always be like, no, we're gonna go to Lost Pines because they have 2 queens.
Yeah.
But now after the renovation, they have 2 queens.
Oh, good.
And so I'm curious to see, how it's going to compare. I think it's fair that they're both category 5 now because they are
Yeah.
so similar. And it's the same type of thing where they have the s'mores every night. They have the horseback riding. They have all the activities. They're
Is
super
the water
similar.
park similar?
The slide like so they have a lazy river. I actually prefer the lazy river at the Hill Country. It's a little bit bigger and it there's a lot more shade on the lazy river at the Hill Country. They have a slide, but it's like not connected to the pool. It's kind of like off to the side.
Oh, do you
And
have
so
to,
it's like
like, leave?
Yeah, so it's like a stand I mean, it's, like, next to the pool, but it's just,
Yeah.
like, a standalone slide. It's not there's, like, a video of me going down it that I've
Oh, yeah,
used
yeah, I've seen yeah.
in but, yeah, so it's just a standalone slide, like, the slide doesn't empty into a
Got you.
pool, it just empties
But
into,
it's
like
inside the pool
it's inside the
area.
pool
You don't, like,
area.
exit the pool area to go to do the slide.
Yeah, it's inside
Okay.
the pool area, it's just not connected to
It doesn't
the pool.
empty in a pool.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like they have the movies on the lawn, the s'mores, all of that is really similar. Again, super family friendly. I would not go there without a child.
Yeah. Is it similar to Lost Pines where it's a little bit removed?
It's definitely closer to San Antonio than Lost Pines is to Austin.
So if you were staying at Hill Country, could you stay there and see San Antonio, or would you say, "I'd stay at Hill Country and then I'd stay somewhere else and hotel hop"?
I would personally hotel hop
Okay. Well, if you would
because
hotel hop, that's all that answers the question because you are not the hotel hopper of the group.
it's just closer it's closer to things, like, if you wanted to go I distinctly remember that there's an In-N-Out near it because we went there.
Yeah.
It's closer to, like, restaurants if you wanted to leave the property to go eat elsewhere. It's more convenient, I feel like, to do from Hyatt Hill Country, but I wouldn't necessarily stay there if I wanted to go to, like, the Alamo or to
Yeah.
see the Riverwalk, like, it's not super convenient to
Yeah.
those things. So I think I'd hotel hop and do a few nights at the Hill Country, and then we just recently got back from the Hyatt Regency San Antonio Riverwalk, and it was fantastic, amazing location, very family friendly. It's a category 3, and so it's only 12,000 points a night, standard award availability, and it's right on the Riverwalk. Like, you walk outside, you're on the Riverwalk, walking distance to the Alamo, like, right the Alamo is directly behind it, w walking distance to tons of really amazing restaurants. I
That's
took
so nice.
Molly to Rainforest Cafe, fancy restaurants.
Well, it's just so nice when you have kids sometimes to not have to worry about getting in the car.
Yeah, I mean, we drove, and so we valeted our car, but
Yeah.
we didn't touch our car the entire time we were there.
That's so nice.
So super great place to just walk
How much
around.
time would you say so you're helping me plan a future trip just so you know. How much time would you spend at each place? If you wanted to go to San Antonio and, hang out at Hill Country, but then you wanna have enough time to see the sights in San Antonio, how many nights would you do at each?
I think 2 nights at, like, the Regency Riverwalk would be fine. Like, I think you can see like, if you wanna go see the Alamo, you can do that in, like, an hour or 2, and then I like, we did a tour at the Alamo, it's called the Remember the Alamo Tour, and it was nice just because there was a guide that kinda took us around and explained all this stuff. They had, like, little audio things you could listen to, and I feel like it just kept Molly more engaged.
Yeah. And
I
how long
probably
was that,
wouldn't
did you say? A couple hours?
that tour was like an hour.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, Molly's 10, and so she was into it. I probably wouldn't do it with, like, kids younger than maybe 6
So
just because
don't take Noah.
I feel like he might get kind of
Yeah,
bored
yeah.
because it's a lot of history, but I
Yeah,
think you would really like it.
yeah.
Um, and then we went on a boat ride on the Riverwalk, like, on the actual water, and that was really cool. So I think you could see, like, the main thing. I think 2 nights would be enough
Okay, and then,
for
like,
that.
3 at Hill Country?
Yeah,
Or
maybe
2?
3. Maybe
3.
3 at Hill Country. 2
Okay,
or 3,
okay,
um, I think would be good.
'kay. We're gonna do it sometime, maybe next fall break, we'll come to San Antonio.
It's a really good time of year to be in Texas
Yeah,
because it's not crazy hot.
yeah,
But it was still warm enough, for us to go swimming every day, so that was nice.
that is nice. So, is Hill Country as spread out or is open space country feeling as Lost Pines? Because I really liked how it just felt like I was in the country.
I'm trying to remember because I've only been to Hill Country once.
Well, you can also just get back to me on answering that one after you go in April.
I know, I need to, like, refresh my memory. I feel like it's not as spread out as Hill Country.
You mean Lost Pines?
I mean, sorry, I feel like it is not as spread out as Lost Pines.
Yeah. Well, which one of the two, which one do you like the most and why? And granted, you haven't been to Hill Country since the renovation.
Yeah. So I will be able to give a more accurate answer in April, but I really like Lost Pines. The other thing is like I like Austin. Austin's my favorite city in Texas. And
Yeah.
so I prefer Austin in general. And Austin is closer. Coming from Houston, Austin is closer for us. And so for us, it doesn't merit like the extra hour drive to get to San Antonio when we could just go to Lost Pines.
Yeah.
And I think I agree with you that it's like I don't remember the Hill Country one having the animals to pet. We may have just not done that. We were with a few other families when we were there. And so we were kind of just like hanging out at the pool and we didn't do any of the paid activities. So I might just be misremembering, but I don't think they had the same like animal activities or the stargazing or any of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will let you know.
You'll report back.
I'll report back. But yeah, if I had to choose only one, I would choose Hill Country.
Or Lost Pines. Do you mean Lost Pines?
Shoot, I would choose Lost Pines.
I was like, wait, what? You just said
I'm
you
gonna
would be
be
Austin.
I'm gonna be confusing. It's
It's
because
okay.
the Hill Country technically is like includes areas around Austin. So like when I think of the Hill Country, I think of Austin. I think of them both.
It's
So
confusing. So just to clarify, Austin is Hyatt Regency Lost Pines.
yes.
San Antonio is Hyatt Regency Hill Country.
Yes.
And you prefer Hyatt Regency Lost Pines near
Yes.
Austin.
Yes.
Okay, everybody's good.
But they're both similar and I feel like you can't really go wrong.
You'll have fun either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to another city. Tell us about Dallas. My experience with Dallas is flying through the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. So that's all I can go up. So I don't have anything to add to this. So let's hear what you have to say.
Houston and Dallas have a complicated relationship. I don't love Dallas. We have friends two of my really good friends live in Dallas and their families. And so we often go to Dallas to visit friends, but Dallas is not somewhere I would just choose to go for vacation. But people probably feel that way about Houston. So, but there is actually a lot of family friendly things to do there. And so we recently went this past summer to visit our friends, but we stayed at the Hyatt Regency Dallas, which is downtown, fantastic location. It's a category 3, so 12,000 Hyatt points a night, great value. They have a pool, which was great. It's not a fancy pool, it's just like a rectangle pool. But it was fine because our kids went swimming. Like our friends who live in Dallas came and met us there. All the kids went swimming together. We ordered pizza and just hung out by the pool. And so when it's really hot in the summer in Texas, it's a nice place for the kids to cool off and the parents to hang out. We also went to the Perot Museum, which we had never been to before and was really, really cool. It's like a science and history museum. So highly recommend that one. We have been to the aquarium. They have like a Dallas World Aquarium that's really cool and has a lot of really cool stuff. And then there's also Dallas has a bunch of really cool parks. And there's this new park that we didn't go to because it was like 110 degrees outside. But when the weather's nicer, it's called Clyde Warren Park. And they have food trucks around there where you could just like get something to eat and have a picnic in the park. Tons of different areas, like a kids area. And so that's a park that I really want to go back to when the weather is nicer. We have also there's a Hyatt House Dallas Uptown that we have stayed at before on a different trip. I prefer the Regency, but the Hyatt House is only a category 2, so it's only 8,000 points a night.
That's amazing.
And sometimes Hyatt Houses can be better for family, like we got free breakfast at the Regency because of my globalist status. But if you don't have status and you want to get free breakfast for your family, then that Hyatt house is a really good option because they include breakfast for everyone.
Yeah, what I really notice a lot with Hyatt in big cities is the points price is really, really good.
Yeah.
Usually, you can find a Hyatt Regency for typically category 3, usually not more than category 4, where you can use those free night certificates, which is so nice. Like, it's and they're nice hotels. I think
Yeah.
sometimes when you think, "Oh, I'm only paying, like, 12,000 points a night," that's probably not gonna be very nice, but these are really nice hotels.
So that's another family friendly option in a great location that's fewer points and will get you free breakfast. So, and there's a ton. Dallas and Houston both. If you don't care about staying downtown, there is a ton of option of Hyatt Place and Hyatt House options a little bit further out. I mean, I think if you're going to any of these cities, you're going to need a rental car, I think, because Texas does not have great public transportation options. So unless you want to be taking an Uber everywhere, you're going to need a rental car. So maybe you don't care as much about staying a little bit further out, not staying downtown if you're going to have a car anyways. So, yeah, lots of category 1 and category 2 options a little bit further out from the city center.
You're so lucky you have all of those cheap hotels for when you're
I
like, "I
know.
need to get a couple more nights towards Globalist." You can just head over to those category 1s.
I have done many a mattress run at some of the category 1 Hyatts in Houston. So,
So speaking of Houston, tell us where we need to stay when we go to Houston. I have been there, like I said. Where did we stay?
we stayed at the Hyatt Regency Galleria.
Okay, because there's a couple different ones, right?
Yeah, so we stayed at the Hyatt Regency Galleria. The Galleria is like a huge mall in Houston, and so I do think that that is a nice area, especially if you wanna go to the Galleria. That one's only a category 2, and do you like, that was
That
a
was
really nice hotel.
super nice. Yeah, it was really, really nice. And like I said earlier, we spent a lot of time. So Jess and I went there to meet up with some other friends of ours that we've met through the Points and Miles world, a group of girls. And so we mostly just went there to hang out with everybody. It was kind of a good middle meeting point. And I think it rained like the whole time. And I was so excited because it was in January, and your January, like Houston January, is much better than Salt Lake City January.
I know,
And
right?
then it just rained. But it was fine because we just were hanging out and visiting with friends anyways. But it was a very nice hotel, and I would totally stay there again.
Yeah. So, that's one option. I have also stayed at the Hyatt Regency downtown. That one is obviously downtown. There's not much to do downtown Houston. Like, it's not like downtowns of other cities where you're thinking like, "Oh, this happened in city." Like, no, it's kinda dead at night.
Is
Um,
that where you stayed when you went to Taylor Swift?
no,
Oh,
because
okay.
Taylor Swift was at, like, NRG, which is where the Texans play,
Oh, okay.
but we have stayed there a few times. I really like it. So if you have status with Hyatt, the Globalist breakfast is at Shula's Steakhouse, and it's really good. And so anytime we need, like, a night or 2, my husband's like, "Let's go stay at the Regency downtown so we can have that breakfast."
That sounds really good because the Regency breakfast or the one at the Galleria was fine.
Yeah,
It was just a typical buffet, nice quality food, but it wasn't a restaurant. That's nice.
right. So back when I had my Marriott personal card, it came with those 50K free night certificates, and we used to always use them to stay at the Marriott Marquis because the cash rates can be very pricey there. It is in a fantastic location downtown, and they have a Texas-shaped lazy river.
I've seen pictures of that, and it looks really, really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's just a fun I feel like especially if you're like, it was fun for us to go there, and I feel like especially if you're visiting from out of town, it's
Yeah.
cool to be like, "I'm at the Texas-shaped lazy river." So, if I had Marriott points, I would totally stay there again.
Yeah.
It's just hard to spend 60,000 Marriott points when I could just go,
Well,
like, a few blocks away.
you know who does have those 50K certificates?
Pam.
Pam has those 50K certificates. So Maybe we'll just have to go there
She'll have to treat us.
and she'll have to treat us to stay at the Marriott Marquis so we can go on the Texas-shaped lazy river.
We need to be like, "Pam, do it for the gram and the
We'll just
blog."
tell her when she listens, we'll just not even tell her. She'll just listen to this episode and be like, "What?
"What? I
You
have to go
wanna
to Houston?"
take them to Houston?"
And she's gonna be like, "What? I have to spend my free night certificates in Houston?"
When I could spend 8,000 points to stay at the Houston Galleria or Houston downtown.
Oh, man. Alright, and then the last one that I wanted to cover is the Hyatt Centric in the Woodlands. This is not gonna be one that people come to vacation at, but if you're in the Houston area or if you're, within an hour or 2 drive of Houston and you're looking for somewhere to go, like a little staycation, this is our favorite property near Houston to staycation at. So it's in the Woodlands, which is around a 45-minute it's around 45 minutes north of downtown. And it's a category 4, which means it's 15,000 points a night. It's eccentric. They have a really cute pool that's like on the uh second floor. And so it's on this area called Market Street, and it's just this area with like shops and restaurants, and they have a huge grassy area for kids to run around, and they have like cornhole and Connect 4 and a splash pad. And so it's just a super family friendly area, and that's our favorite hotel to just staycation at. Like, we usually go there on a holiday weekend. Like, we've gone there on 4th of July, and the Woodlands 4th of July parade just goes right in front of the hotel. And so,
That sounds way fun and a nice spot for, like, let's go to the hotel and the pool and so we can cool off from the Texas heat.
yes, yes. And you don't need, like, once you're there, you don't need to leave. You just go, and there you can walk to restaurants, you can walk to shops, and it's just a great option for any Houston people that might be listening.
Okay, so what else do we do in Houston? First of all, do I come on vacation to come to Houston for vacation, or do I just come to Houston to visit Jess?
I don't know. I mean, I actually think that there's a lot that Houston offers. Um, I totally understand why it's not a vacation destination, because it's not very aesthetically pleasing. Like, it's flat.
I feel like all
Like
of Texas is flat, is it not?
in Salt Lake City,
Maybe
you look
everything's
out and
flat compared to me being in Salt Lake City.
yeah, like, you send me pictures from your house and you can see the mountains, and I'm like, "You're not seeing that in Houston. You're seeing, like, a huge tall building." Um, but I definitely don't recommend coming here in the summer. But there's, like, the food scene in Houston is amazing, and I
Yeah,
know that you're a foodie,
yeah,
so I feel like I need to take you out on, like, a tour of all the
yeah.
good
I mean, all
restaurants in
I've
Houston.
had really in Houston was Torchy's, which Torchy's was great, but I'm gonna guess that's not the best that Houston has to
No,
offer.
no. And then, obviously, we have Space Center Houston, which is really cool. Um, so if you ever wanna go to NASA,
Yeah,
you can hit me up.
okay. Something
And
would the
then
kids love that?
yeah. The kids would love that. Um, it's kinda, like, out of the way. It's south of Houston, so it's not super convenient to a lot of things, but you might be able to find a Category
There you
1
go.
Hyatt out
Yeah.
there, out near NASA. And then we have an awesome museum district. We have so many good museums: Children's Museum, Health and Science Museum, Museum of Natural History, tons of good art museums. Like, our museum district is amazing. So, Museum of Natural Science is probably my daughter's favorite. That's where they have, like, all the dinosaurs and that kinda stuff. And then our zoo is really cool also. We just got a new Galapagos exhibit, and so the zoo is really close to the museum district, and so you can just, like, hit all that, in one trip.
Okay, that sounds actually really fun. Where would you say you should stay if you're hoping to hit up the zoo and the museums district? Or
Well, that's not really
so like
so
you said,
those
we
are
need to get a car. Just get your
You
car
have
and you'll
to
be fine.
you need a car. I mean, you could stay downtown and take the light rail. We have a light rail.
Yeah.
I've only taken it once, and that was when I went to see Taylor Swift. But that is an option. It's actually that area is not far from the Hyatt house I stayed at for Taylor Swift. There's a Hyatt house in the medical center that's sort of near the zoo and the museum district. So that would be an option. But yeah, it's just most convenient to have a car.
Yeah. Okay, so first-time visitor, someone's never been to Texas. They're thinking, "Where should I go?" From the sound of it, it sounds like either San Antonio or Austin.
San Antonio, Austin would be my first choice, but like I said, you could easily do Austin and San Antonio in one trip.
Yeah.
So that would probably be
Well, you
that
should
would
have
be
told
cool
me
'cause
this last year or whenever I
I
booked my
know.
trip. Just kidding. You're
Yeah.
just like,
So,
"I'm
like
making Alex come again so I can go see her again." I'll take it as flattery.
yeah, you gotta come again and do a tour of
Yeah.
Texas, but I think Austin and San Antonio are the coolest, and those are the ones and they have the cool Hyatt, the Hill Country and the Lost Pines,
Yeah.
so we don't have anything like that in
Yeah.
Houston.
Quick question, where is Waco in relation to all this? I'm not a huge, I need to go to Magnolia, but I know a lot of people are. I'm not against going, it's just not on my, list of things to do, but I'd go with, people if they were like, "Let's go there." I'd be like, "Okay." So where is
So
that in relation to these cities?
Waco is, sort of between Austin and Dallas.
Okay.
So if you were to come and there's this really cool area near Austin called Fredericksburg. It's super fun. And so I feel like you just need to come back and we can go to Fredericksburg, Austin, and Waco.
Okay.
And then you can see all your Magnolia stuff.
Well, no, I'm not the crazy no one's crazy for Magnolia, but, you know what I mean? My sister-in-law's like, "We need to go to Waco and go to Magnolia," and I'm like, "Okay, let's do it," but I'm also there's a lot of other places that are much higher on my list of things to do than go to Magnolia.
All right. Well, if you come
But I will
to
go with
Austin,
you.
I've never even been there because I don't care enough about it to drive there, but there are lots of people who do. So it's kind of like Austin, Waco's an hour and a half north of Austin, and San Antonio is an hour and a half
So
south
was it
of
on your
Austin.
drive between the 2 or not the same direction?
Between which two?
If you're going from Austin to San Antonio, would you drive through there or no?
No,
Okay.
no, it's the opposite direction. Austin's in the middle.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's Waco's up here and San Antonio's down here and Austin's right
I
here.
love how you say this like the people that are listening know what
I
your
know.
fingers
People who
are.
are listening to this aren't gonna know what I'm
But
talking
it's all good,
about,
I
but
got you.
all right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed exploring Texas on points with us. If you want to travel more with your family for less money, make sure to check out our free masterclass, How to Start Traveling for Nearly Free. We will put a link in the show notes. Thanks so much for listening to the Travel Hacking Mom Show. Make sure to hit the subscribe or follow button from wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. Want to start jet setting even faster? Follow the links in the show notes to learn about everything we discussed in today's episode. And to stay connected and follow along, follow us on Instagram at Travel Hacking Mom. We can't wait to see where in the world points and miles take you.